Thank you so much for joining me today, Allison.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so first of all, highlighting what specifically of these illnesses you all are seeing right now in our communities.
Yeah, what everyone should know is in the community, we are seeing a rise of respiratory viruses, everything from the common cold, and we're seeing RSV and COVID cases. And what's interesting and what you should know is if you're following the Virginia Department of Health website or CDC websites, what you might see is that Virginia as a whole has a plateau of cases of the respiratory viruses that are tracked, like COVID, for instance. But in the Shenandoah Valley, if you look on the CDC map, we're seeing a little rise all the way from Rockingham and south. You can see that it's in a higher COVID as far as COVID cases compared to the rest of the state. And that has happened throughout the pandemic and after the pandemic, where we've seen little blips of cases that are just kind of scattered throughout the country. And we just happen to be one of those areas that has more cases than other areas of the country.
All right, and as these cases continue to increase, I know there's people out there probably trying to take those preventative steps in order to not get sick. So what are some of the things they can do at home in order to not get sick and avoid these illnesses?
Yeah, so I think a basic rule of thumb, because we're not testing for all viruses all the time anymore, is if you see somebody that has symptoms that don't look pleasant, they have a bad cold, they're coughing, you should put a mask on if you're going to be around them. Try to prevent yourself from getting those symptoms if you're out in public. If you yourself have the cough, try to stay home and avoid being out in the public until you're feeling better. And if you have to be out, go ahead and put a mask on. Washing hands is always important because many of these respiratory viruses are contracted, or people get them because they touch contaminated surface where someone may have been previously, and perhaps they were using a handle after they coughed, or just through the droplets of the respiratory virus. That's how these viruses are spread frequently, through contact. So wash your hands frequently. I think the primary thing is to stay home if you feel sick until you're feeling better. Then the last thing that you can do to help prevent getting these viruses or getting really sick from these viruses is get vaccinated. The CDC is really encouraging everyone to go ahead and get vaccinated. It's not too late if you decided to wait, because Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and it's important before people are traveling and going into different homes that we all try to get vaccinated to prevent getting some of the more elderly or frail or young infants sick from viruses that you might just get a mild illness from. Those that are have weakened immune systems or are very young or very old could get very sick from those same viruses.
All right, and if people have questions, maybe they want to set up a vaccination appointment or just learn more about the resources you have, is there any specific way they should go about that?
Yeah, sure. So there's many different ways to get a vaccine. It's become very easy to get vaccines today. Augusta Health, for instance, has vaccines available at urgent cares and at their primary care offices. And those resources are readily available as far as how to seek them on the Augusta Health website. Also, commercial pharmacies offer vaccines. So you can log on to, you can either call or log on to your community pharmacy's website. And some of them have ways that you just set up an appointment and you get to talk to your pharmacist while they're giving you the vaccine. Uh, so the primary thing I think is if you have specific questions in regards to getting vaccinated, your primary care doctor or your family doctor is an expert in preventative health, and they're great resources to help navigate the risks and benefits. But the reality is, for things such as COVID vaccine and the flu vaccine, for everyone 6 months old and up, these vaccines are available and they're very safe. Side effects are rare, and the risk of getting severe illness from flu or from COVID is higher than in somebody not vaccinated than the risk of having a side effect related to the vaccine. So these are all things to consider when navigating getting vaccines. The third vaccine that I haven't talked about yet is the RSV vaccine. That is new this year, and there are 2 targeted populations that vaccine is available. For those people that are over the age of 60, please talk to your doctor. We know RSV, which is increasing in the southeast part of the United States, and we're seeing severe cases in our hospital, affects infants and it affects the elderly as far as getting severe illness, as well as people with weakened immune systems. So now that the RSV vaccine is available for those people over the age of 60, this is a great preventative to prevent severe illness that will land you in the hospital. For pregnant women, newly approved by the FDA for pregnant women weeks 32 to 36, there is a recommendation to consider getting the RSV vaccine during that time period of your pregnancy. Why that time period? It's because it gives your body a chance to mount the immune proteins that protect against RSV that are passed on to your baby. So then during their most vulnerable period or risk of getting RSV, they're protected from the virus, which sometimes, unfortunately, it leads to young infants being in the hospital. So those are the 3 vaccines that we wanted to highlight today. And you can talk to your family doctor more, or for pregnant women, talk to your OBGYN doctor. Those are all 3 of those vaccines are important, so you can pass on those protective antibodies to your baby.
All right, lots of good information here. Obviously, no one wants to get sick, so hopefully everyone takes these tips that you have provided. And if they haven't made those vaccination appointments yet, obviously doing that is very vital to preventing that spread of illness. And thank you again so much for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.